Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing? Apologize about the wait, everybody. I was just getting some stuff set up here. So, how's everybody doing today? It's Saturday afternoon, but we're not with our typical group that we normally would be here around this time. Normally, we would see the GTRC community, but we got something a little new and something a little fresh for everybody. This is the next series here, drop down the line in North America within the community, and this comes on behalf of Race Asylum North America. So Apex Sim Racing has joined up with Racing Asylum over in the United Kingdom, and they got a one make Group 3 BRZ series up for registration. Has been for about 3 weeks now. Don't tell me that you didn't know. It's posted in the Discord. We pinged everybody. It's not my fault if you're not paying attention. Kidding. It's still open for registration. There's still spots available as well. So that is in both YouTube channels, Racing Asylum and the GT45 Gaming YouTube channels. We do have that Discord invite pinned in the comments there. If you're interested in learning more or want to join the series, just jump over into the Racing Asylum Discord server and follow the process from there. We do appreciate everybody coming in. So up on the screen in front of us is why we're here today. We got some qualifying here for a little bit this afternoon, and then we'll have a qualifying session again next weekend to finish off qualifying. And then, of course, the series starts on, I believe it's 18th of November, if I'm not mistaken. So we have a driver just popping in here right now, it seems to be. Let's get rid of the loop up in front of us here. And let's just shrink it out a little bit. Alright. I'll just leave it like that. So we're just sitting with Jake, who's our host. So it's Apex Jakey hosting our lobby here tonight. And I'm not sure how many registered drivers there are. I'm not sure. I haven't really inquired. So we're just kind of going with the flow here. But we should start seeing drivers soon. The lobby's been open for 20 minutes. So the official qualifying lobby is up for everybody. And while we're doing that, let's take a look at what we're up against here as far as the track goes. So just bear with me so I can bring up my bigger version of the map that I can read, so I can talk you through it a little bit here. All right, so the track, everybody knows the track. It is Suzuka, located in Japan. It's a 3.6 mile racetrack, 5.81 kilometers, has 20 left and right hand turns. It's a tarmac surface. It is a real world circuit. They race on it every day they can when it's the racing season over there. And it has an elevation change of 131 feet. So it's an interesting little circuit. So let's talk about it here for a second. And when you're looking on the track map, I have to spot it myself. It is on the the right-hand side of the track map, the center. There's a little blue circle with a white arrow and is pointing down towards the bottom right-hand corner. That is our start-finish line. So from there, the drivers take a run around Suzuka. So we head down towards the bottom right-hand corner of the map, and that takes us into our first turn. It's a long double sweeping hairpin, fairly high speed corner at points, and then turning into a mid-speed corner at the end of it. And then that takes us around into corners 3, 4, 5, and 6, the snake, and it is just a winding section of up and downhill undulating S's. From there, that takes us into another elongated, essentially double hairpin corner, the Dunlop curve, and that sets us up for the more technical part of the racetrack, believe it or not, down into right in the center bottom of the track map now, Degner 1 and Degner 2, turns 9 and 10. Both very tricky in their own rights. One little miscue and you could be off in the sand trap, and that's never a good day for any race car driver. And then from there, that takes us up a short little straightaway around a little kink up into turn number 11, and up in the top center there, the red number 4, turn number 12, the hairpin. So it's exactly what it says. It's a 180-degree corner coming right back around, and then they take us around 200R. It's just a long, sweeping kind of straightaway corner, and then that takes us into Spoon Curve. Again, another elongated double apex hairpins corner. This one's a little more mid-speed, and then again getting into a mid-slow speed corner on the exit, and then that takes us up to back straight. And that is the longest stretch here on the racetrack. From there, that takes us into the 130R, and that is a very high speed sweeping left-hander. And then that takes us, of course, into the Casio Triangle, a set of chicane corners to finish off the lap before heading into turn number 20, which takes us right to the start-finish line, which is relatively close to after, of course, turn number 20. So we're just chilling here. We're just waiting for some drivers to jump on. As you can see, it's just me and Jake in the lobby here right now. Yep, sounds good, Jake. That's what I figured you were doing. All right, so the racers, nobody ever wants to be the first one out, and then one will finally come in. They'll run it, and then everybody will follow in after. It's usually the way it goes. So once the first one comes in and runs the impending doom of qualifying, the rest of the races typically fall in. But some may choose to take the extra week and try to refine their time as well. It's hard to say what each driver is thinking. Depends how prepared each driver is for qualifying today. But just a little look at the Suzuka circuit here from our camera crews. Went around the circuit. Well, of course, there was no rolling cars on the track, and got some great camera shots here. And of course, with cooperation of one of the racers in the paddock, doing some controlled video footage with the car on the track here, as well as certain points you may catch it on the loop. But yeah, it's a beautiful little circuit tucked away in Japan. It's a real place. The Ferris wheel's a real thing. It's there in real life. So difficult racetrack. I love watching races here. Suzuka is a great track to watch pros rip around it at absolute ridiculously high speeds. But myself personally, don't do well here. I struggle with the racetrack because of how tactical and how difficult it is. All right. Just taking a look at everything here. Everything's moving and running, so make sure I got everything I needed to have in place today. I think we're good. My computer's running a little slow. It hasn't popped up on the RA YouTube? Hold on. Let me go look. Let me go see what's going on. Oh, I know why. 1 second, Ray. Should pop up now. It was set as private, that's why, Ray. I did not check when I set it up. Should be good now. Should be coming up shortly. Just refresh and it should pop up. My bad. Alright. Slow moving qualifier here today. It's Saturday. You'd think everybody would be raring to go, but yeah, we'll have to see. We had one driver pop in here, but decided he didn't want to be the first driver out, maybe? We're not sure, but we'll keep it rolling. Oh, good. I can pin that now, too, since I got that there. Fantastic. Yeah. It should be. It should be now. There it is. Hello, hello. How's it going? Pooptown race team up in the house. How we doing, my guy? Yeah, it's working now. We got some chatters up in there. Alright. So we are just waiting for somebody to come and put on a show for us here. We may have to send Jakey out and show us how to do it. I don't know. Jakey's going to be in a chat with some of the drivers, so he'll be in the know. Got that Group 3 BRZ just sitting on the screen there, waiting to go. Alright, so the Apex Sim Racing team. Who are the Apex Sim Racing team, some of you may ask? Well, the Apex Sim Racing team is, well, a partner of GT45 Gaming on a business side of things as well to start with, but a great group of community members that came together and joined a team together. And Apex Sim Racing team is comprised of a lot of top tier drivers. They got a lot of A drivers in there, and they got some really high quality Pro-Am drivers up in their lower tier rankings as well. They got several drivers over there. It's a great vibe when you hang out with the Apex Racing crew. The chat gets a little risque when you're in the friends chat, that's for sure, with these guys. But you know, they're just here to have fun. And they've been huge supporters of what we do here at GT45 Gaming for a long time now. And it's nice to see them jump into the world of hosting leagues and really getting it out there and getting the group out there. So, yeah, BRZ series is going to be the first thing they're going to take a swing at here. And it's an interesting car. The car sounds fantastic when it downshifts. Sounds absolutely fantastic when it downshifts. But there we go. As you can see, it's just me and Jakey here right now, chilling. Oh, there we go. Might have somebody popping in here. And they like to race, and I mean, they'll push you to your limits, no matter what division or who it is that you're driving. Where it comes from, Apex Sim Racing here. So it's a great little partnership they got with Racing Asylum here, and Race Asylum in their own right's an absolutely crazy fast, very reputable team over in the United Kingdom as well. So the two groups coming together to bring another amazing series to North America here. And well, I mean, the bottom line is we just don't have enough great racing series here in North America to race in, so here's one for everybody in the community. Told you we had something coming. We've been announcing it for a couple weeks now, so get in, try your luck. Discord invites if you're interested. If you want to know more, just jump into the Racing Asylum Discord server there and follow the initial welcome process, of course, and then one of the admins will step in and help direct you in the direction you're looking for, whether it be a North American series or whether it be a series over in the United Kingdom, which they have plenty of, and a really great racing series as well. So no matter what your poison is or where it is that you're from, there's racing available at Race Asylum, ladies and gentlemen. That's for sure. I think we got a taker. I think we got a taker. Hey, that's not supposed to be there. Hey, everybody. What's up? Let's get rid of that. There we go. Ah. All right. So as soon as Maddie is ready to go, we will we'll send him out. Are you sure? Because I got a viewer in there watching right now, Ray. Maddie was in there saying hello. I'll go on my phone and see if I can find it. It's hard when I'm looking at the dashboard to tell. Yep, it's alive, Ray. Alright, so here we go. Mr. Pooptown MC up in the house. Let's get some information up for everybody. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Alright, so our first driver is out on track. So what's going to happen here is the driver's going to get four hot laps and 1 out lap. So a grand total of 5 laps here during the qualifying sessions today. And this car sounds just absolutely fantastic, by the way. I love the sound of this car. I mean, alien times here at Suzuka, 58s, 59s, maybe 57s, 58s. I don't even know, 55s. I don't even know. But I think on the average, we're going to see 2 minute, sub 2 minute times here for the most part for most of our drivers. That's a pretty good time at Suzuka. If you can get 2 minutes or under in a Group 3 car, you've got pretty good rhythm around the racetrack. So it'd be interesting to see what he puts down here. All the drivers that are qualifying are required to take screenshots of their times as well and submit those to one of the Racing Asylum administration officials there. And of course, she will take all of that information as it comes through and start setting up a division placement drivers list. So much love to Race Asylum and everything that's going on behind the scenes over there. Hey, appreciate you. Good luck, have a blast tonight. We'll see how it goes. Just qualifying, no racing tonight, but hey, qualifying means we're leading into racing, so that's all that tells us. Alright, the game is really loud in my ears here. Holy moly. Alright, so it looks like we got a Canadian driver on track here with those winglets. Obviously that Canadian maple leaf there in the winglets. So it's a 2 minute out lap. Let's see what he's got here. We're just heading out through the snake right now, those S's after turns 1 and 2. And that takes us into the Dunlop curve here. You got to set yourself up here. You don't want to over throttle too soon. You got to roll up the hill a little bit, make sure your exit isn't too wide there. If you get too wide, you can see it usually ends up in a spin or you just get pulled out wide into the sand there. Sand is bad news here. It just sucks you in. You don't want to touch it. We're getting through Degner 1 and 2 here. That takes us to a short little run, not very long here. Takes us around the little kink and then into the hairpin. And that's kind of the halfway point, so to speak. A little past the halfway point of the racetrack, I guess. But this now sets us up in for Spoon Curve and that very long back straight heading into 130R. So the exits are so important here as you come through each one of these corners. In this sector, you want to maintain as much speed as you can around the corner. And look, so far he looks pretty good. Fairly smooth. Looks fairly comfortable. He's not quite utilizing that whole racetrack at the moment, which means he's losing a little bit of time. He's leaving a little bit out there at the moment, but some drivers like to put in that 1 or 2 safe laps first. And then from there, of course, they'll send it. So we'll see if that's the case here today. With Pooptown MC. So here he goes. Very nice clean livery on that racing car as well. TLR driver, which I don't know too much about that team myself, but we'll learn as the season goes on. Alright, so it's a 202.788. Definitely room for improvement on that lap there. But again, just could be a safe lap. Now the tires should be up to temperature, quote unquote. Ooh, we got it just a little bit wrong there, and that's going to be a practice lap at this point here. So now in this situation, this is tough, right? This is when it gets tough for drivers when they're qualifying. We've seen it so many times in so many different leagues. You make that mistake. Now the driver needs to get immediately back into the rhythm. He just needs to look forward, get back in behind the steering wheel, get those tires scrubbed off, get them all cleaned up, and just worry about setting up the next lap. This is an opportunity now for this driver to work on a couple of areas that he may be struggling in. work on a couple of corners, try to refine them before coming around on lap number 3 here. So right now it's a 2:02.788 being his best lap. This one may or may not be. It's hard to say. He did have that big mistake there. Right now he's down almost 4 seconds. So again, it's just a practice lap at this point. Get back into the rhythm of the track and get ready to send it on lap number 3 and 4 here. So you just gotta put your head down in this situation. A lot of the times that'll rattle a driver when you know you only got a couple of laps to really get a good quality time. And again, he's just over driving right now. He's pushing a little hard here. He just needs to calm down, take a big deep breath here. Don't miss those apexes, hit those braking points. And it's about momentum. You really got to let the car roll around some of these corners here. He had a good spoon curve exit there. That was a really quality exit. He used all of that curve and the little extra there. So that's what you got to do here. You got to maximize every millimeter of the racetrack to really try to get that potential to the maximum. I can't hear my own thinking here with my headphones on. The game is screaming in my ear, so you guys can hear it. I can't hear myself think. There we go. I'll get the headset off. I can hear better now. Alright, so we are now coming to the start-finish line to start lap number 3 of 4 hot laps here. So a 2:11.306. You got to shake that off now, not worry about it. Just don't make the same mistake twice. So now we're probably going to see a little bit of a push lap here just to make up for that mistake. You can see giving lots of caution on the exit of turn 1 heading into turn 2 there. So learned from that mistake earlier on, didn't want to chance it on this lap. He's going to be looking for an improvement here this time, and then we'll see what happens on that final lap. Hey, how's it going, Alien 420? How you doing, my dude? How are you doing, bro? How's the racing been? Just keeping an eye on both YouTube channels here because one doesn't show up on my software chat, unfortunately. Alright, so it is Poop Town here, first of our qualifiers this weekend. Now we have 2 qualifying sessions. There's one today. This one will last for about 3 hours, and then we have one next weekend which will run as long as we need it to run. To get all our drivers qualified, if you're looking for something to race in, this is going to be ran on Sundays. Saturdays? It's going to be ran on Saturdays at, I believe, it's 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If I'm not mistaken, I have to go confirm that. I forgot when we're racing this series. Totally forgot. I'm going to go look right now. December 2nd is when the series starts. Okay, so 203.843, so he needs to send it this time if he wants to improve on that 202.788. It's a tough track. I mean, you can't make a mistake here. Every little mistake costs tenths of seconds into a corner. When a corner consists of 4 or 5 corners for a sector, then typically it's going to cost you half a second, maybe a second after the end of that sector. So you don't want to make those mistakes. You got to be nice, clean, crisp. We are up 3/10 here, so he had a good sector there. That's always important to have those good sectors. Racing great. Some daily racing. Hey, yeah, we were doing that Wednesday night. Didn't quite go so well though. A couple of tire mistakes in the pit lane that cost a couple of races. Some not so good driving by others in a couple of races, and then we had a couple of really good races too. But just a night full of errors. Night full of errors and lost ER. Alright, he is up on this lap. He was almost 3/4 of a second heading out of that, I believe that's that 3rd sector here. So we're into the final sector now. And coming out of Spoon Curve here. We're going to get an idea where he's sitting here as soon as we get up through the live timing line up at the end of the straight here. And he is almost 3/4 of a second, so we're going to be almost into the 201s here if we can find just a little bit of time here through this Casio triangle and of course the final corner here. So it's just a set of chicanes right here, the Casio triangle, and of course that's finishing off in this final corner, number 20 here. Just a little sweeper, but you got to be careful. You get too soon on the throttle and you can kick the car out there and really ruin your day. It's 201.698 there. So not a terrible lap at all right there by Pooptown. So he definitely had a good improvement there. That was 1.2 seconds he improved. A lot of time gained through 130R there as he just sent it around there. It probably gained him a good solid half second just there alone. So that was a good run. That was a good run. Good start to the qualifying there. And like I said, as soon as one comes in, they all start to follow suit. So that's about the situation here now. All right, we do have another driver out here now. We'll just sit on board with Jake's car here for a minute while the next driver gets ready to come out. All right. Well, in the meantime, we'll go back to the little screen here. To the little screen. There we are. All right. We got another one coming out here right away. Looks like Jakey's just directing some traffic here at the moment. Alright, so we do have another driver out, so we are going to jump on board with Bra Moment. Alright. Some interesting names. Alright, so same thing as the last driver. 1 out lap, 4 hot laps. The equal condition modes are on here in the lobby. The drivers are using the racing soft tires. No fuel, no tires. The same old rigmarole here for qualifying. What we're looking for is ultimate pace of the drivers. Alright, so here we go. Another driver I don't know personally, so we're along for the ride. We're along for the ride. Well, that was fun, first car out. Hey, somebody's got to do it, man. Somebody's got to kick it off. Good job, buddy. Good job, man. It's tough out there. It's a tough racetrack. I don't even know if I could do a 201 lap in the BRZ around here, to be honest with you. I don't do well with the car myself, either. That's just me. Alright, everything seems to be working nice today. We love to see it. Alright, so it was a 2-minute out lap from our first driver, Pooptown here, who right now has the pace set early on in qualifying here. Let's see what Bra Moment has. Bra Moment. Good old video game tagger names. You gotta love the names. You gotta love the names, I tell you. Alright, so here we go. Number 555 all over that car. 05 on the number underneath. Just a good old Subaru livery here going on. Very Subaru-esque. Alright, so the outlap was a 157.226, so that was a pretty quick outlap right there, which indicates that this driver has some pretty good pace underneath of him. So let's see what he has as he comes around here. Got an American flag, all styling on the side of the wings here. Love seeing the different flags as well on the winglets here in the cars. It makes it really fantastic look on these BRZs. These are really neat looking race cars as well, and they love to actually race them here in Japan as well. So it's kind of fitting that we're doing the qualifying here on Suzuka, in all honesty, because the BRZ series is really big here, especially over in this part of the world, and especially on this racetrack. So interesting combination, really, when you think about it, because there's a lot of racing that happens in real life here with these cars. So yeah, it's just pretty cool. Cool seeing the different car cultures from all over the world too, in real life racing, from one region of the world to the next. In Australia, you got the V8 supercars are a big thing there. Europe especially is F1. You know, NASCAR in the United States is big. F1's big as well in the United States, but you know, NASCAR is kind of the thing. Stock car racing down here in North America. Got a lot of the old school BMW, Porsche, and Mercedes series over in the UK areas of the world. So it's cool. It's cool. What's up, Josh? How you doing, brother? All right, so the first hot lap, it was 4 hot laps, just about to come through here as we're heading out of the Casio Triangle right now, down to the start-finish line, and it's a 2:01.969 as it comes across there. So not the fastest lap on the track yet, but a good starting point there. And only missed that by 0.3 of a second, basically, a little less, 2.5. So he looks fairly comfortable out there. On the 2:01.698, just by a smidgen here at the moment as we're coming around, heading into Degner 1 and 2. So the first Degner is fairly high speed as you're coming down gears. Now you're getting ready to be in second gear here for Degner number 2. Get ready to hopefully have a nice good throttle out of the corner, and you can see he's up just by a sliver here, a couple hundredths of a second right now on the fastest lap. And that takes us into the hairpin, which leads us into Spoon Curve, and then of course up that very long back straight to 130R. So this is the high-speed part of the sector. You really got to get it right here. You don't want to make any mistakes. And again, drivers are really utilizing the racetrack now. And that's how you get the best times around the racetrack. You got to take advantage of the whole corner and then some. And he almost took a little too much corner there. That could have made him pay the price. You flirt with that artificial curbing here on Suzuka, and it can toss the car out on you a little bit. So that was a great job there to maintain under throttle control on those artificial curves, because they're a little bit dicey. So again, just a little under 200ths of a second up on the fastest lap currently here, set by Pooptown just a few moments ago. So qualifier number 2 on the day out on track here is just coming around into the Casio Triangle for the second official time here as it comes to the start finish line, and it's going to be a 2:07.55. So the new standard time, or the new time to beat on track here, set by Brad Moment with a 2:07.55. So now we're starting to get into that, what I expect to see times from the drivers on average. We should see a lot of these 2-minute 1:59, 2:01 range times, I think. And then we have that special group of drivers that just blows it on the track and just puts crazy times down. And then we've got our new and our learning drivers that are just a little bit up above that. And he's up a little bit here again. So finding a little bit of improvement each time around as the car settles in, as the tires warm up. Now, it's no joke here. It takes about 2 full laps around the circuit from the pit lane to get these racing tires really up to a proper grip temperature. And then even that, it's about another half lap to really kind of get these tires into optimal range on most of these cars, depending on the weather conditions. So it's at least a 2-lap survival rate here. So your outlapping your first hot lap is kind of just getting these tires built up to really send it for your last part of your qualifying run. So the last 3 laps are kind of where you're really aiming to put down a good lap, because that's when the tires and the car is going to feel at its best here. It's a real thing in Gran Turismo 7. I know they don't tell us that as players and as racers, but we have third-party apps that tell us a different story. So, and you can definitely feel it. You definitely feel it. You can feel the difference in the car from a dead start at the beginning of a race to 3 laps in. It just feels better. Alright, so half a second here, almost going to be sub 2 minute here, so that puts him at about a 2 minute 2.2 lap here. So let's see how he does in the chicane, in the Casio triangle here, and then coming out of that final corner, and see if that improves into that sub 2 minute range. Very close. It's a 2 minute .196, so almost. So almost 3/4 of a second, 6/10 of a second improvement there. And now I guess the driver can really just try to send it this one and see where he ends up. So let's see here. Let's stick on with Bra Moment as he comes around in through the Dunlop curve, or heading in through the snake, heading towards Dunlop curve, pardon me. And he is up another almost 1.5 tenths here out through that sector. So again, just continuously improving lap by lap here. Car's feeling good. He's feeling the rhythm here as he comes around, heading into Degner 2 right now. Nice clean lines, nice, and there's no wiggle in that car under exit. He lost some time there though. Definitely lost some time there. And again, just about momentum. So they turns 1 through 6 are really important to start your lap, and of course this mid sector of the racetrack also important, and then that exit of the spoon curve really matters. So you know, basically the final exit corner of each sector on this racetrack is like the most vital area of the track for really trying to maximize your time around into the next sector. So again, it's just about momentum and maintaining that pace around the racetrack. It's all about flow at Suzuka. It makes or breaks the best race car drivers, this racetrack. Sometimes it really does. So as we're coming through the Casio triangle for the last time here, on Bra Moment's final qualifying run here, and he's not going to get it this time. So 2 minute .196 there from Bra Moment's 354. Alright, pretty good run right there. Pretty good run right there by our second driver here today. So we got a almost sub 2 minute, and then we got a 2 minute 1 lap here as well. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now on the two drivers. And he's gonna go for another one here apparently. So now I get to sit back and see what happens. Yes, sir. That's right. It's all done. No more worrying and stressing about it. It's over now. That is not quite. There we go. Oh, it's not there either. There we go. Now it is. Alright, so we're just getting some verifying on times here right now and behind the scenes. That's why we flipped the screen. Don't need to see the boring stuff. The boring stuff. Alright, so that was a good run there from our second driver here in qualifying. And the drivers look good. They look nice and steady. They look not panicking out there. Yeah, we had a little mistake from our first driver, but he gathered that right back up and just put his head right back down and got right back into it, and put down his best lap on the final lap there as well. So qualifying really sets into the nerves of the racers. We've noticed over several seasons in different organizations. So it's interesting to see how each driver handles that. It looks so pretty. It does look so pretty, doesn't it, Ray? All right. So we're just waiting here. Do we have anybody else? Nope, we don't at the moment. All right. Yeah, it's just qualifying. It's just qualifying, guys. Everybody always puts so much pressure on themselves for qualifying, and I get it. I just went through it a couple of weeks ago for a league myself, and it was just non-stop pressure. But it was a good run. That was a good run. I don't doubt for a second that there is definitely more in there in the tank for that driver as well. Very rarely do you ever get your best lap in qualifying. It's very rare. It's just there's always something lingering in the back of your mind about it, or a corner you know you're struggling with, or you know a mistake you've made so many times in practice getting ready for the qualifying. Those things linger, and it's so very rare to get the perfect lap in qualifying. It really is. All right, so 2 out of our field so far qualified in here today, so that's a good start. We're gonna have the lobby up for 2 more hours here. And then, well, the lobby may stay up for longer, but this guy's got to bounce out for 2 hours. It's the end of the story here, so I've got a race to go to this afternoon as well myself. Nice long 2-hour one. I believe Jake is going to be racing in the series too. I'm just not sure when Jake is going to do his run, but it may very well be right at the end like he usually does. He likes to typically be one of the last ones to go. Alright, let's go take a look at Suzuka here again. Camera crew doing a little bit of work. Timmy! How you doing, Jake? Alright, so next time I go live on RA, I'll make sure to set it public. We'll do my run at the end. Yeah, that's what I figured, Jake. That's what I figured, my dude. I wonder if you do it today or next week when he doesn't need the most. Jake just likes to go last. He likes to try and see what the fastest time is and try to beat it. That's all. It's just Jake doing Jake things. Alright, so do about 10 laps practice. Let's we'll blame GT7 on that one. They released that big update. Everybody's too busy playing with all the new stuff right now. We all forgot that we have leagues to get ready for. Went and did the weekly missions or weekly challenges or whatever yesterday. That was interesting. Interesting. I definitely say that the snow physics feel alright, actually. I'm not a fan of the dirt physics per se on GT7 myself personally, but the snow physics felt alright, so it's interesting. And the Porsche GT3 RS is a pretty awesome car. I think it's going to make for some good racing series out there for sure. I already know of about 4 or 5 different leagues that are jumping on a one make series with that car already here, so be on the lookout for that because we all know that's coming. Well, you know, if you just went and bought a PS5, you wouldn't have to worry about his broken PS4, man. Probably see Pigums in potentially sometime in between. If we're gonna see him, I would say in the next 45 minutes as well. I'm not sure if he's got another race after his Mini Cooper race today, but so we may see Pigums pop in here for his run as well. I'm not sure, he hasn't said if he was running or not today yet. Yeah, no, I don't see anything. Anything specific there. Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah, I know. I knew you were lurking, Lucas. I knew you were lurking. That's funny. He's just a lurker. Poking in, see what the times are. Yeah, I think Pigham's work schedule is starting to go back to normal here again, so we'll start seeing him on track a little more than we have over the last few weeks, anyway. Alright, usually qualifying is hot on the first day. Usually you're just swamped on the first day. I'm really surprised it's not like that today. That's just the way she goes, I guess, sometimes, you know? Why do I have so many messages on Discord? Like, the pings are just ridiculous. Mm. 13 pings in Discord, not one of them actually relates to me at all. Imagine that. Huh. Alright, where are all our amazing North American drivers hiding today? Popular ginger. Too many servers is what it is. Just too many servers. Wake up and there's like 14 pings. It's like, oh my god. Well, everybody's really working hard for the Suzuka one. Eh? They're all like, no, I don't want to qualify yet. No, I don't want to do it either. Is Badass racing, Jake? Did he register? I am a ginger ninja. 100%. Just a little look at what our drivers are up against here today. Very technical racetrack here. Of course, track map provided by Special Operations Administrator Miss Devious here at GT45 Game. Always love those track maps she provides us for the broadcasts. We'll talk a little bit more about the track here as qualifying goes on here today and next weekend as well. There's lots of information actually in those maps. So as you can see, we're just chilling out here. Track officials are keeping the track in primo shape. And of course, this is what we're here doing today. Racing Asylum North America 1 MiG GR3 BRZ Series. Starts December 2nd and still open for registration. Just because we're qualifying doesn't mean that registration is closed. Registration remains open throughout the season, so drivers can come in and try their luck, test their might. Maybe this is your favorite car. Maybe you love to drive this BRZ and you want to show off how good you are in it. Jump on track. Let's see what you got. Get your paint job showing off. Get to have a little bit of fun. It's a great time. League racing is the best kind of racing. It really is. Soulless? Absolutely. You know it. You know it. Alright, chap. I suspect next weekend is going to be a busy day too as well. So it's about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes per driver to run through. So in a perfect world, you get about 5 hours, 5 drivers an hour through when it's busy, is about how it breaks down. So that's why we have multiple days of qualifying in these multi-division series, because it just takes a little bit of time to get a driver through. Got to get the car out of the paddock, they got to meet tech inspection, and then once that's all done, then they finally get to go out on track and do their thing, and then you got to get them a cool down lap. They got to come in the track, get their car out of the way of the next racer, and then we repeat the process again. So a little bit of a process behind the scenes to get these guys out one at a time to do their qualifying. But again, the conditions are very equal on the racetrack, so no drivers dealing with maybe a little more headwind or a little bit tailwind or something like that. All the conditions are the same for each of the drivers, so no one's going to have an advantage there. The only advantage is the driver behind the wheel at that point. It's the same car, it's the same settings for each car. There's no tuning allowed, so there's no suspension, there's no aero, there's no little tweaks that the drivers are allowed to make here. It is just jump in the car, stock bone race car, and see what you can do with it. Gotta love that stock bone race car. You know, it's funny, I've heard stories from racers too, you know, when they start racing, they start their racing careers that they'll tell you, you know, a lot of the times that their crew chiefs will make them go out and race races without setting the car up and force them to learn how to drive the racing car, and learn how to drive the car without, you know, tuning help and toe and camber adjusting and then all the stuff that comes with it. And then when a driver can figure out how to do that, when they finally, you know, get that tuning in their cars, when you get that little bit of setup that you're allowed to make minor adjustments in real life racing depending on the rule book, of course, from each organization or series that you're running in. And then from there, when you finally get that tune or setup, you should just be ready to rock and roll, ready to race, right? So that's not the case for all racers, but for some racers, and I've heard it from more than one racer in my lifetime, that's how they've been taught and brought up. And maybe that's an old school tactic, but that's definitely, I mean, learn how to drive the car for what the car is before learning how to understand how to make the car better, I guess, in a sense, is what that breaks down to. So it's quite interesting. So that's kind of what these 1 MiG BOP series is it's exactly that. You're making the drivers basically just run stock equipment. The only thing the drivers will be able to adjust during racing conditions will be their brake bias, and even in qualifying here, that brake bias isn't allowed either. So just your TCS and your ABS systems allowed, and that's it. And I mean, I guess that's always up for the ultimate debate, whether or not you're faster without or with traction control in Gran Turismo 7. And it's a healthy debate. It's a healthy debate in the community. I know drivers that drive with TCS aid and are incredibly fast, and I know drivers that drive without TCS aid and are incredibly fast. So half a dozen of one, half a dozen of the other type situation, I guess. But it's definitely a big old debate. I mean, in real life, the racing drivers have TCS aid, of course, and the analog braking, but again, that's all it really is. It's just an assist. It's not end all be all save you. You're not going to crash just if you use some TCS. It does help a little bit limit wheel spin on exit, but even then you still got to know how to use the traction control system when that assist setting is on. You can't just smash on the gas everywhere and think that the TCS is just going to get you launching out of the corners, because that's not the way it works. But yeah, the age-old debate in Gran Turismo is TCS faster or slower than no TCS. I really think it just comes down to personal preference, to be honest. There we go, one of our Apex Sim Racing representatives coming out to party here with us. So it's going to be Heathen, looking like he's going to come out and give us a run around Suzuka here in this BRZ today. So yeah, you're definitely right. It's definitely not as intuitive. I know lots of drivers that use a TCS system, so and they do quite well with them. So me, I'm a 50-50 on it now. I used to be anti-TCS. I don't use traction control, no way, blah 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 mentality. But now, there's certain situations where it definitely can come in handy. There's situations where it can come in handy. Alright, so we got another driver back out on track here. Alright, so we're just getting a ready roll call out here. Of course, our host of the lobby, Jake, directing traffic. Got some officials standing here watching very intently there at the end of pit lane where Jakey's car is parked. So there we go. We're going to jump out on board with Heathen here now as he starts his qualifying run. So our third driver of the day is now out on track. Let's get you guys some audio. There we go. We got a base design livery going here. Apex Sim Racing's Heathen is now up. And as usual, you know, the game needs to save this right here, so I don't have to do it every time I jump off track. The game should just save that. Be like, this is how I want it set up. Just do it. Alright, so this is an outlap, so this is just an opportunity for drivers to warm the tires up, try to get as much air pressure built up into the car as they can, and again, just refine their lines around the racetrack before they start flying. So outlap is essentially just a warm-up lap. First lap, in my opinion, with the way that the tire physics are right now currently in game, is also a quote-unquote practice lap. And that's just because you're really scrubbing your tires, and so I call that my safe qualifying lap, my first lap typically, and then I'll send it from there. So, but again, with that same issue, you can overheat your tires as well. So you don't want to push too hard too soon either, because you don't want to lose your tire on your last lap either. They shouldn't go off that quickly, but I mean, you have a spin or you have a little off-track moment, you get some grass on the tires, that's going to change your tire temperature very quickly, and it's definitely going to make you pay the price a little bit for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 corners, depending on the section of racetrack. Alright, so he looks pretty good here on the outlap. So we're just heading out of the Casio Triangle here right now, coming around turn number 20 to cross that start-finish line, and we are qualifying. So 59.7 here for his outlap. So about the same pace as our first driver, Matty, here, that was out on track here, as far as the outlap goes anyways. Now we'll see how these flyers go, and again, some of the drivers being very cautious in turn 1 and 2 as they enter into the snake. Don't blame them. It's a risky corner. Risk versus reward, risk versus reward. And again, this is just a first hot lap, so this is essentially a safe lap, I like to call it for myself when I'm in this situation. It's one where I know my tires aren't fully optimal yet. You're still going to get that base time put down. There's going to be something to work off of, but I wouldn't count on lap 1 typically being the fastest lap of the session, although sometimes it is, not very often. Usually you can definitely refine that first lap time, just because you got better gripping race tires. Ooh, a little bit of track edge right there. He gathers himself up there through Digner 2 there. He just caught the grass under braking there. It's going to cost him a little bit of time, but again, it's just that first hot lap, so in my opinion, you're still warming up your tires. You know, by the time he gets around the spoon curve and up towards 130R at the end of this lap, that's about when the kart starts to really kind of feel proper here in this particular session. So he'll be ready to fly here on lap number 2, and we should start seeing pretty much the same thing from all the drivers. We'll see him really kind of settle in laps 2, 3, 4, and 5 because the car starts to feel just a little bit better. Hello, how's it going, John? How you doing, my guy? Alright, so we have he's rocking and rolling here, and as we're heading up and towards 130R for the first time here to record his first little lap of the session, looks pretty good. Again, not quite utilizing all that racetrack yet, but you know, some of the drivers, it's just risk versus reward, man. How much do you want to risk it for the biscuit? You know, the first lap, safe lap it, and then risk it. Alright, so it was a total 3.601 there, so that was his first lap out of 4. Now let's see if he can improve on that lap here as we continue to go around, and I'm just going to flip down to Jake's car to make sure what we're seeing is what we're seeing. Alright, so our second qualifying driver does have top time on the track here today so far in qualifying with a 2:196. There's definitely drivers out there that can push that time to the limit, I'm sure. Whether or not they come in today is yet to be determined. Can he then do it? I'm sure he can. Let's see if he's got it in him. Right now he is down actually a little bit from that first lap coming through the snakes, so that could relate to more lost time depending how the Dunlop curve came here. And we know he hit a little bit of a track edge right here under braking. He got that much smoother that time, so that's time gained back right there compared to the first lap. And oh yeah, big time. He's up almost 3/4 of a second there as he comes through Digners 1 and 2 heading into the hairpin. So now he's on a lap here. That puts him down into the 202 range here at the moment. And as we head into Spoon Curve now, we'll have to see what that next timing sector has to say. But almost 3/4 of a second there on his first lap, and again another driver just dipping 2 tires right out on the outside edge of that track there. Every time those tires aren't on that tarmac surface, you are losing a little bit of grip and time, so not ideal, but definitely a good exit out of Spoon Curve there this time. And as we head towards 130R, he looks like he's going to be up maybe a little over a second here by the time we hit this next timing sector, I think. 1.5 seconds as a matter of fact, so definitely on a good time here now. That's going to put him down at a 202.1 at the moment. Let's see how he gets the Casio triangle here. And, ooh, goes a little bit deep there. And, oh, he's going to give it all away. He's going to give it all away. Oh, that's unfortunate. You hate to see it. Hate to see it. Alright, so he gave that one away a little bit there with a spin in the chicane. Just missed his braking point by about 10 meters there. And just, again, into that artificial curbing here at Suzuka. It's just ruthless. It ultimately makes you pay the price here. That was a really good exit out of turn 1 there, set up for turn 2 heading into the snake here. So driving a little angry perhaps here now is he, that is he was a little upset with himself with that move in the Casio triangle there, just missing his braking point a little bit. He was on a cooker there, so let's see how he's got it here this time around. He's still got 2 more cracks at it, so you know, just gotta get back into your rhythm and again just focus back up and just keep hitting those points and go do it again. Little mistakes are little mistakes, but that was a lap ago. We're on a fresh one here now as we come through Digner 2, coming through hot to trot that time. He's pushing hard here. He's definitely going to be up as he comes through this live timing sector, and he's up almost a little over 0.8 of a second, so even 0.2 faster than the last lap coming through this part of the racetrack as we enter the hairpin here now. He's getting ready for that big charge to the Spoon Curve, and he is definitely up. So See how his spoon curve goes. Much better roll around the corner of the back straight, so to speak here. Not really a back straight, I guess. Heading into spoon curve. And looks like he gets another good exit here. Holds on to it nice, clean, and crisp. That was a great run through spoon. He's definitely going to be up at least second and a half here again as we come through this one. And it's going to come down to getting that Casio triangle right. 1.76 seconds, so he's in the 201 range here now. There we go. It doesn't go too deep that time. Looks like he gets it a little tight that time. There actually broke a little too early this time. So, but he makes the corner. He's going to get a good time in here. It's going to be a 201.676 here for Heathen. So that was a big improvement. 1.9 seconds on that first lap there. So that was a good lap. So it's the final lap here for Apex Sim Racing's Heathen. And let's see if he can improve on that now as he comes out of turns 1 and 2. He had a little bit of a better exit out of turn 2 that time heading into the snake. So potential there that he's up a little bit heading into the S's here. And you can see it's just a non-stop back and forth winding trail of uphill S's here as we head into the Dunlop curve, which in a sense is kind of at the peak of the height of the racetrack here. He's still up a little bit there. He's actually purple as he was coming through that sector there, so he's feeling it this time around, but got a little bit wide out of the one part of the S's there. That may have cost him a little bit of time here. So as we head into Degner 1 and 2, and again sending it around Degner 1, nice good clean entry and exit into Degner 2 there. Doesn't over push the car, and he's down 0-8 at the moment, so he gave up some time there a little bit, and oop, catches a track edge coming into the hairpin, and that is going to squash. So it's going to be a 201.767 here. 676. I'm dyslexic apparently today for Apex Sim Racing's Heathen. That's a good time there from this driver as he comes around, and he's going to finish up the lap here. Don't forget to take your screenshot, my dude. Don't forget the screenshots, drivers, if you're watching. Don't forget your screenshots when you go to make your run. Ghost might have all the screenshots on backup, but it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you to get that information, I tell you what. That's very heathen-esque. That's very heathen-esque. Wouldn't be qualifying if you didn't have a spin. Just a sign of a driver pushing really hard there. You know, he sent it that lap and he just made a mistake. Just caught that track edge under braking there. Alright, so 201.676 will be Apex Sim Racing Heathen's best lap here on the track, and that was a good run. That was a good run for Heathen. Good job. Rested for the biscuit there on the final lap, and it didn't quite pay off for him, but that's alright. That's racing. That's the best thing about it. You can't predict what's going to happen. You can try. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, though. Alright, so there it was. Mr. Heathen. Alright, so they're just going to do the behind the scenes stuff there that they always do. And you can hear Heathen still going around the racetrack a little bit there as he's on his cool down lap, of course. Must be a little bit of sound on the racetrack. Right, it's because we're on Jake's car. Alright, so 3 of our drivers are through here today, and we still have an hour and a half left of this weekend's qualifying session. So a good time there from Apex Sim Racing's Heathen. Currently puts him second in the list of the qualifiers that have ran today. We have many drivers left to go here yet for qualifying for our Racing Asylum North America 1-make BRZ, and of course presented by Apex Sim Racing team, and I will be presenting the commentary throughout the season here. on the Race Asylum YouTube channel and GT45 Gaming YouTube channel as well throughout the season, so you guys don't miss any of the great action once the season kicks off. It should be a blast. Lots of loud popping BRZs racing around these racetracks, and it's a very large American set up racing series this season. There's lots of American tracks on the list. Heathen died. He didn't die. That was a good run. He had a good run there. That was a good job by Heathen. He looked good on that last lap. He just caught that track edge coming into the hairpin under braking there, and it sent that BRZ off into the grass a little bit there. He's doing a little lawn mowing, helping the track officials out, you know. Just helping them their track officials out. So what is everybody's plans for this weekend? What's everybody up to? I got myself a nice busy weekend. We got this, and then we've got a 2-hour endurance race once we shut this down. And then I don't know what we're going to do after that. Maybe we'll go hit some Assassin's Creed up. And then we got a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff working tomorrow. We got work to do. Work. New Year's coming. And remember, folks, time change this weekend. I know our UK friends have already changed their clocks, so they're technically only 7 hours ahead of West Coast, and they're technically only 4 hours ahead of East Coast right now until, of course, tomorrow night when North America's clock set back. I know it's dumb, but we still got to do it. So just a reminder to everybody that we do set our clocks back 1 hour here in North America tomorrow night. And hey, extra hour of sleep before the work week on Monday. Let's go. We all like an extra hour of sleep, right? I know I do. Take it when I can get it. That was a good run by Heathen. He looked good out there now. Just a couple mistakes on those 2 laps. That was it, man. Yeah, it makes it's confusing. In the spring, you guys change your clocks after we do in North America, and then in the winter time, you guys change them before we do. Yeah, I don't get it either. Yeah, it's still confusing when the time change happens for organizing league events, though. Racers get confused, man. Racers get confused. It doesn't. You shouldn't feel stupid. What's stupid is the fact that they're making us change our dang clocks. Like, who cares? Let's just keep the time where the time is. Doesn't matter. You know, let's like change it by half an hour and meet in the middle and just call it a day. No, you're not, Jakey. Just hindered. I don't think stupid's the right word. I think hindered. Hindered by lack of sleep. It might be the better way to explain that, Jake. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I think.
Alright, we're just trying to keep everything moving and grooving here. We're keeping our eyes on the streams.
That could be possible.
Well, I think generally speaking, I'm not that stupid, but time zones really mess me up.
No, we don't think you're
Stupid at all, right? Oh, there we go. We got Lucas up in the house here.
You know, we might see a 202 out of Lucas. Maybe if he's on his game of 201 today. I don't think he's got anything better in him. I guess he'll have to show us.
We love you, Lucas. We really do. I swear.
Alright, here we go. And a very quick driver on track here, so we should see a pretty good time come from Lucas 36 here. I'm just teasing when I say we might see a 201 out of this driver. We are going to see a pretty relatively fast time out of Lucas 36 here. He is an A+ driver, so should expect to see just a 2-minute time at one point throughout this qualifying session. I'm just giving him a hard time.
And the PlayStation pleb cannot get out on track. Oh, there we go. The PlayStation 4 problems. What can I say?
There we go. Alright. So Lucas 36 is now going to start his out lap. Let's go. Alright, let's flip you over here while he gets ready to get set up for his 4 flying laps. So we're still on the out lap here. So he's just getting that car warmed up. He's gonna get those tires warmed up. He's been throwing down some laps here for the last little while this morning, I'm assuming. So he's feeling warmed up, so he should be good to go here. Should see some pretty quick times out of this driver. We did see our second driver come out there today, the one with the purple lap on track currently here, saying that he left a lot out on the racetrack as well. So we'll see how much is out on that racetrack with Lucas 36 here. We know he's going to put in a good time here, so how good a time? Well, we'll let him show us. See, Lucas leaves 0 millimeters of racetrack in between corner entry and corner exit. He utilizes every little bit of the racetrack here to try and maximize his time around it. I mean, he is on that white line on every entry and every exit of every corner here, just on this out lap. So as we come around here, let's see what he's got. It's going to be a 56.250 out lap. So that is a quick out lap here from Lucas 36, and potentially 58s, maybe even 57s. You like his livery? It is very sharp. I have a livery sitting there that he'd easily be half a 10-second faster if he had that one on. I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, he did a really nice job with this one. I like that zigzagging tiger style look on all over the car. Making another one of our United States entrants here as well in the series. So half a second up on the purple lap on the racetrack here right now, and not Not surprised to see that. Not surprised to see that at all. Yeah, several fast drivers entered into the series. Yeah, typically the fast drivers aren't the first ones to go out in qualifying. They usually let a few people run out and then they come in and start to set that bar, so to speak. Jay.
No, mister. Oh, Jake.
Alright, so where are we at here? 8/10 purple right now, so gonna be a 59.3, 59.4 if it keeps on the pace here. Get a quality, Jay. Alright, so it is 159.4, so our first under 2-minute lap here during qualifying now belongs to Lucas 36, and let's see if he can improve on that 59.4 here now. I'm sure he can. Again, that's just the first out lap, first hot lap. That one, the tires aren't fully optimal yet in my opinion, so is there more time left in the tank for this driver? I would most certainly think so. Can he put it together? Well, we'll leave that up to him. Is 3/10 up here as we're heading out of the snake into the Dunlop curve here for our third time in this qualifying run, and he is looking quite solid. Very clean, very nice, solid, good steering inputs here. He's not panicking, he's not forcing the car, he's just feeling the rhythm between the car and the racetrack here right now. He's almost up 4/10 here as he's coming into the hairpin, so still continuing to build on that lap that he set down there first time around, and the hairpin wasn't quite as clean as last time around. Might have cost him a little bit there, just a little wiggle on the exit there, but we'll see what happens here as we head into Spoon Curve and get ready to head up 130 towards 130R here. And this is a mid-speed sweeping hairpin, so there's 3 different types of double apex hairpin corners here at Suzuka, and they really do provide for some difficulty, but they also provide for some great passing opportunities here on the racetrack as well. All 3 of those double apex corners are good passing spots on the racetrack actually. Still 3/10 up here as we head into 130R, and we'll have to see if he can maintain it here as we get into the Casio Triangle for the third time here in this qualifying run. So recorded lap number 2. Is it an improvement or is it not as he comes around here? And it looks like it's going to, a 158.9. So making up some big time right there in the Casio Triangle, and our first driver to smack into the 158s here. How much more time is on this racetrack here for Lucas 36? That was a really good lap put down by this driver here, an independent driver as well, ladies and gentlemen. So no team affiliate, so to speak. Coming in representing himself, and a real life racer as well for Grid Life, as you can see on the side of the car. So that's kind of where he represents. Hey Chris, how's it going, my dude? How you doing, brother? Alright, so Lucas 36 coming around here, and he set the bar pretty good here so far at 58.9. Let's see if there's any more on the racetrack still here as Lucas comes around, hits that live timing, and he's up 2/10. So there is definitely still more time on this racetrack. That was an incredible lap put down right there by Lucas 36, and he's looking to make it even faster. Oh, we got all the mods up in the house. What is up, mods? Love to see it over there in RA. Alright, so Lucas 36 coming around here again. This is the Race Asylum North American 1-make BRZ Group 3 series. It is being ran by the Apex Sim Racing team, and I will be on the comms here all season long for Race Asylum here throughout this North American series as well. Half a second up on that 58.9 here as we come in through 130R, and he took all the 130R that time. And boy, he is flying around this racetrack right now, isn't he? Lucas 36 setting the bar here in qualifying, our 4th driver out, and boy oh boy, He's pushing hard, 58.387 that time around. And oh, are we going to see a 57? Lucas 36 is putting on a clinic here at Suzuka. Oh my. That's the first time we've seen him down in the sector since he started his qualifying run. He's down at 10th here as he comes up in through the Dunlop curve, heading into the Degners here right now. Let's see if he can make it back up in the Degners. Nope, he's giving up some more time there. He's down 4/10 here now, so let's see if he can find some more time here somewhere. He has a good hairpin there. Nice, clean, tidy. Being down a 10th on that 58.3 was definitely doable. Being down 4/10 is going to be a lot harder of a charge back up here. He's really going to need to execute a very fast spoon curve here. Really keep as much momentum as you can here around the second part of this corner. Really get on that throttle and get a good charge up into 130R here. We'll see where he's at when he hits this next live timing sector here. He was just 0.399 down, and he's 0.392 down, so he gained 5 thousandths of a second, basically 7 thousandths of a second as he came up through there. So he definitely got a good run through there, but not enough to live in the dream one nightmare at a time. Oh, you're good. You're solid, my dude. You're solid. It's gonna be a 58.7, so it's gonna be a 58.387 here for Lucas 36 for his fastest lap around the racetrack here in that qualifying session. And all I'm gonna say there to him is, ooh, that bar has been set, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna do a little donut there, a little victory donut, beauty. Gotta love the victory donut. That was a well-earned donut in my opinion. Well-earned donut in my opinion. That was a pretty crazy qualifying time that Lucas just put down. Whew. That was pretty incredible. Good job to Lucas 36. So 58.387 is the mark for all you top split drivers in this series. Looking what the mark is, I think Lucas 36 just set it with a 158.387. That is going to be a time that is going to be hard to be charged, I think. We'll have to see what the rest of this qualifying group has and see if they can knock Lucas off that #1 spot here provisionally in qualifying this weekend. Boy was cooking. He was way cooking. He was certainly moving around that racetrack. He made that BRZ look like it was a rocket ship. I had the 157 livery there for you, though, my dude. I'm telling you, there was a 57.8 right there for you if you had the right livery on.
That's fast. I can't even break a 2-minute lap on Suzuka, so kudos to Lucas
and all these other drivers that are gonna go sub 2 minutes here in qualifying, because I couldn't do it.
I can't. It's just like that. It's like my unicorn on this racetrack. Under 2-minute lap just doesn't happen for me in a Group 3 car. I've been so close so many times. Just can't put it together.
I'm just not as fast as say a Lucas 36 or a Jakey or a Paymay, that's for sure. That is for sure. All right, it's going to be open for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Drivers, 1 hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, that was a good time. Lucas really stepped into it there for sure. Well, let's bring that up. Let's drop that down. Let's bring that guy up. Let's talk about Suzuka a little bit more here. Let's get into some of the more detailed information here on the map while we wait for our next qualifier. So, we talked a little bit about Suzuka. We talked a little bit about the corners and the names of the corners around the racetrack. Let's talk about the actual individual specific technical parts of this racetrack here now. All right, so we're going to go to note number 1, which is at the bottom right-hand side of the track map, right down where it says Suzuka Circuit there. That is going to be our first note here. And first turn is a combination of turn 1 and turn 2. The braking for this section can be a little intimidating for some of the drivers. There are a few options to tackle this section, but it comes down to what we've said a few times already today, risk versus reward. Moving into point number 2, which is basically that whole S sector, the snake. Now, the snake is a series of 5 turns that forces drivers to test their weight transfer skills. This will get increasingly more difficult as tire wear becomes an issue. Obviously, in qualifying, tire wear isn't an issue, but the body roll, for going from the left to the right to the left to the right and going uphill, definitely makes it difficult. Going through the S's, it can very easily throw or push the car offline. That takes us into note number 3, which is the Degner 1 and 2, which is a very intimidating set of corners, but when you get them right, man, does it feel good. There's a sand trap along the outside of Degner 1 and Degner 2. If a driver should go off track for any reason, the sand trap is a great safety feature and is really good at ruining a driver's race. So what the sand traps do on these racetracks is they stem the momentum. The job is to take the momentum out of the racing car while they're sliding at 100 plus miles an hour. And then ideally the sand there is to try to limit the amount of impact into a wall or a safety barrier, or stop it altogether from even making impact into a wall or a safety barrier. And you can see on the track map, the orange highlighting around the edge of the map is where the sand edges on the racetrack are on the racetrack as well, and the little green outline edge is where, of course, there is artificial curbing or grass on the outside of the racetrack on each part of the racetrack, in case you were wondering at home. So sector number 4 is that hairpin at the top center there, and that's that really hard, tight hairpin corner out to the Degners. A hairpin is a very tight radius, 180-degree hairpin turn. Drivers bring their cars to a crawl to make this turn. When getting back on the power, drivers need to be very careful not to give the car too much power too quickly. Of course, it can spin the car around, can make you wiggle, it can just upset your racing car. It's going to cost you time on the racing track. Point number 5, which of course spoon curve, very different kind of set of 180-degree corner, so to speak. Spoon curve is a combination of turns 15 and 16. The brake zone is rather straightforward. Many drivers treat this section as a single turn with a double apex rather than 2 separate turns. Driver need to be mindful of the sand trap on the outside of turn 16, though, if you run wide. We haven't seen that too much yet so far here today. That takes us into the back straight, section number 6 here. Drivers who have a penalty will be forced to serve that penalty there. Even a minor penalty will result in double or even triple the time lost. Drivers serving penalties are required to be predictable to avoid contact. The race administration has gone over all of the do's and don'ts with the drivers when it comes to serving penalties. So that little yellow box with the 2 arrows that are pointing down, that is our electronic enforcement penalty serving zone, so our EEPSZ here in Gran Turismo 7. And what that does is, if you pick up a track limit penalty or a pit line penalty or a contact penalty from the game, that game makes you serve that penalty at that yellow marker. So what's expected in most leagues out of the racers at this point is when you get to that line, if you have a penalty, is for you to pull off of the racing line to serve your penalty, and then of course move back into the racing line when it's safe to do so. And that's so that the drivers that do not have without the penalty do not have to go around that driver to gain the position. The driver has the penalty. The driver with the penalty should be the driver moving off the racing line, not to affect drivers who have not picked up a penalty in the eyes of the racing officials. So what that is basically a little wire under the racetrack that race control implements that into the computer, says this driver has a half-second track limit penalty when that driver crosses that EEPSZ line. It cuts the power out of the engine for that determined amount of time. For example, say it's a second. They'll cut the power engine out for a second. The driver won't be able to accelerate or any of that. They can only down their gears and decelerate until their engine power is back up. Once that time, in this case that 1 second, is up, the power is returned to the engine of that race car and the driver can continue on with their race. So it is a foolproof serving zone system for race control in Gran Turismo 7, and it's really a fantastic feature. So sector number 7 here again, that takes us into 130R. This turn has a radius of 130 meters. Drivers may lift or even brake for this turn depending on the condition of their tires. Group 3 cars, you can send it around there if you get it just right. And of course, point number 8, our final point, and of course the last sector of the racetrack, the Casio Triangle. It's a low-speed turn, lots of passing opportunities here, and you got to keep a watchful eye there. Guys can get in real quick, real tight, real fast, and make something happen there. So, and a little bit of information there about Suzuka and some of the challenges it can provide for the drivers while they're racing around this racetrack. Now, obviously, in qualifying, we don't need to worry about the tire wear or the fuel consumption. The car is quote unquote in optimal condition once you build your tire pressures up. So the car is at its what would you like to call its fastest condition, the best optimal racing condition for qualifying. So these drivers really are quote unquote driving a dialed in race car for qualifying and in qualifying sessions. So they should be able to put in personal best style times in qualifying if you can put it together. That is, of course, qualifying and the pressure people put on themselves typically doesn't make it easy, but you can essentially hit your PBs in qualifying, and that's kind of the idea behind it. 130R gives you anxiety. Yeah, the Suzuka in general gives me anxiety, man. Suzuka in general gives me anxiety. It's a true story. Just don't make your break. Just don't miss the break point on entry. That is always the case, my man. Can never miss your braking point on entry, especially in qualifying. That really ruins your time. It comes from one of my administrators, Alien 420. Miss Devious, one of my special administration, special operations administrators. She makes those track maps herself and provides them to the page. She does all the research about the corners and all the fun facts, so to speak, about the racetracks. Some racetracks are a little vague on their information, so some of it's research from different sources kind of pieced together. It's tough because they're constantly changing names on some of these racetracks as well. Nürburgring GP is actually a really good example of that. They change their corner names quite regularly depending on the sponsors, the racetrack rates. So it's hard to keep up with the name changes. But when it comes to the fictional, so the PD, the Gran Turismo racetracks, say Seaside, St. Croix, the Maggiores, stuff like that, the made-up make-believe racetracks, she goes and she does a lot of research based off of where the track is located in the world, whether it be North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, wherever it is. And what she does is she just goes and she takes a look at the history of the area that the racetrack is located in, and she comes up with corner names based off of famous racers maybe from the area, or some of the history and some of the culture from the area. So it's really just done with the team behind the scenes, with the administration staff. So she really does a great job with the track maps, and she's done several of them for us already here for the page. But there's like 100, and with the new tracks that they just dropped in, I think there's 100 and um I think that makes 115 track layouts in Gran Turismo 7 now. So, you know, it's a lot of work. It's a labor of love. So we really do appreciate all the hard earned effort and dedication that Miss Devious puts into those maps, because um, a lot of research and a lot of time goes into them. So, but yeah, she just does she just, you know, goes on the internet and she does her homework, man. She really buckles down, and then of course she you know, reaches out to the other rest of the team for input and stuff like that as well on it. But yeah, that's where all the information comes from. Google, you know, sources like that. Of course, she's a behind the scenes real life racer, so she has a little bit of information on some of the tracks just based off personal knowledge of that racing track too as well. So she's very passionate about racing, that's for sure. And we really appreciate that passion, and it shows in her work. So you know, all we can ever do is say thank you for all the amazing graphic work she does for us, because it's incredible. It really is. Hey, no worries, my dude. No worries, man. Hey, that's the whole point. We want to try and help educate, you know, the racers and our viewers the best we can to factual information. We're trying to keep it as factual as possible too. We're not, you know, just throwing something out there because we're missing a piece of information for something. It's, you know, experience from our own sim racing as well. We race these racetracks just as much as the rest of the community out there does too. And of course, Miss Devious and myself being um, co-owners of 1010s Racing, we got, you know, team racers, we got drivers behind underneath of us as well. So, you know, we're constantly trying to teach and show our drivers, you know, lines around racetracks, and trying to explain how a car works around a certain corner per se. So, you know, the track maps in a sense are kind of exactly that. They're a tool for learning with the information that's just based inside of them. So there's so much more information that could be put in, but I mean, you can only clutter the screen so much with so much information, right? So, um, you know, it's been a long haul to get those maps to where they are, and we really appreciate her hard work. That's for sure. And we'll have more of them as time progresses. Like I said, there's a lot of tracks. I think there's 115 different layouts now in the game. So that's a lot of work, a lot of work. And you know, I'm assuming that the game's going to continue to update that as it progresses. So um, you know, the last update was a genuine, real update in my opinion. It had a little bit of everything that got sorted and attended to in this update. We really need to see more updates like that actually from PD, and next thing you know, we'll have a whole bunch more real world circuits, and you know, we'd like to see some classics come back too. You know, I think that's a general consensus around the racing community. You know, personally, I'd love to see a midfield raceway come back. I'd love to see Special Stage Route 5 come back. You know, Apricot Hill. There's some really great racetracks. The city circuits would be crazy good. Seattle, New York, Paris. Yeah, yeah. You know, bring that kind of stuff back would be really cool too. But we get it. It's licensing. It's agreements. It's time. I've seen on how they scan the cars and scan the tracks and stuff to get that information into the game, and it's very meticulous, and it takes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours per vehicle, and thousands of hours per racetrack. There's licensing rights. There's all kinds of things that has to go on in order to get these things into the game. So, um, you know, definitely appreciate the hard work, and considering that we don't have to pay for the DLC, I guess we really don't have a whole lot of room to be complaining anyways, because like most games out there, you got to pay for the new downloadable content. So PD's business model is definitely for the players. It's definitely for the players. We might not always get what we want, but they are thinking about the players. Zolder would be awesome. Zolder Silverstone. Come on, man. Let's get Silverstone back. Silverstone's one of my all-time favorite racing racetracks, man. Let's get Silverstone back up in the house here. I like the creative input on the Gran Turismo specific tracks and the name she puts to them, i.e. Mudslide Corner, Trial Mountain. That one has really stuck with the community, hasn't it, Chris? Hasn't it? Mudslide Curve? Yeah, it really has. It really has. Oh, that's facts. That's facts. It is a slow qualifier today. Usually day one is the big one. Um, apparently it's going to be backwards this time. Apparently, weekend two is going to be the big one. But for those that have qualified today, I mean, it's out of the way. It's off their shoulders now. Now they can just focus on preparing for round one at Watkins Glen. And I mean, we're starting the series off with an absolute beauty of a racetrack too. So December 2nd, we're going to be starting the series off at Watkins Glen Racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be heading over down to New York State for what should be a pretty good fun ride around the Glen. That's for sure. I love that racetrack. It's one of my favorites as well. It's I don't know what it is about that track. It's just got the right kind of flow. I mean, you could take that bus stop at like 110, 120 miles an hour. It's just nuts. It's just a nuts track. As long as you get it right, that is. Uh, just checking up on Discord here. Got lots going on today. Lots happening today. Got drivers not even sure if they signed up for the league or not. That's interesting. That's interesting. Oh yeah, no, the Glen's great, man. It always makes me smile when I see that track come up. Got the track map up in the race room. God, that's right. Not a boy. Not a boy, Chris. That's how it should be. Got to sport our favorite cars on the tracks, on the walls. I know I need to get some background stuff for the stream for you guys to look at again. We need to get some GT45 merch sorted back out is what we need. Working on it. Working on it. Website's being worked on. Merch stores being worked. Lots of things are being worked on behind the scenes right now. That's why I'm so busy. I got lots happening at the same time. Lots happening at the same time. No, not specifically. I believe the last time I checked, we had about 18 or 19 drivers qualified in. We are looking for 30, so there's definitely room for drivers to still come in and get involved in the series. It's a 5-lap qualifying session. It's equal condition modes on. Sunday in the afternoon looks like it's under sunny conditions, and you're on the racing soft tires with the Group 3 BRZ. And that's the best of 4 laps, I believe, is how it counts. I believe it's the best 1 of 4 for this one.
Hey, no worries, my dude. No worries, my dude. I'm just a little out of the loop because, well, time just got away from me. Not missing anything important. Group 3, no.
Yeah, it's our basic general equal conditions qualifying mode. Oh, it's best 2 of 4. Oh, so it's combined 2 of 4. Oh, okay. Gotcha. There we go. Jake coming in with the adjustment there. Appreciate you, my guy. I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 1. So it's very important then to get those 2 quality laps in. So some of the drivers that made those mistakes on their qualifying sessions are still okay, but it definitely it hurts. So when it's the best 2 out of 4, you definitely want to put in 4 good laps, if at all possible. Because if it's taking that combined 2 of your best 4, then you want to have 2 laps fairly close together, ideally. Then. So we've seen that's the case out of 2 drivers, and the other 2 drivers we've seen a little bit of inconsistency. But again, that's just qualifying. Some drivers just don't qualify well and race really well, and some drivers qualify really well, but maybe don't race quite as indicative to that pace as they're qualifying. To each driver, it's different, right? Some drivers are really good hot lap drivers where they're sprint racers. Some drivers are endurance racer style drivers. Those drivers typically don't qualify well because they're more based on overall race pace than they are overall fastest lap. Where a hot lapper, can go and drop a heater in a short amount of time if need be. That endurance racer, that's a long distance runner, typically isn't really thinking about necessarily that hot lap as opposed to overall consistent pace around the racetrack. So, and I've seen both sides of that type of driver. I am a type B driver where I'm a long distance racer, so I don't hot lap necessarily well. I can't, in 3 or 4 laps, I can't put down a PB. It's just not going to happen from me. It's pretty rare. But give me a 2-hour run, and I'll put down 70 laps at the same lap time every race. Every lap within a very close amount of reason. Anyways, within reason, it'd be within a half second or 3/4 of a second apart type thing. But so there's different attitudes coming into qualifying as well. It's hard to not be a hot lapper and then come in and just put in 2 crazy blazing fast close lap times like that. You're most likely going to put in 2 race pace lap times as opposed to hot lap times, and be comfortable with that because that's your comfort zone, right? So each racer is a little bit different in how they tackle their qualifying runs. And some like I said, some are hot lappers. They can drop blazers down no problem, and some it takes time for them to get up to that point and warm up to that point. So I just got a message from my software saying some new overlays are available. We may have to go check them out. Hey, we like new overlays. We got to find a fancy smancy one for RA here. So we'll have some new stock to look at. We love it. Yeah, I'm not great at quality runs typically either, Alien. I'm not the best at them either. It is a very quiet qualifying day today. I am very surprised. With the holidays coming up, I'd be missing a good chunk of the season, and that's why I elected not to run a flaky biscuit. Yeah, you're all good, Chris. It's all good, man. To each their own, dude.
Oh, that's because you're too busy teaching everybody else how to get around the track faster, Jake, and never actually practicing for yourself. I mean, that's just truth right there.
You know, you're always willing to stop doing what you're doing to help somebody find, a tenth of a second around a racetrack. And then when the time comes for you to throw down, you spent so much time helping everybody else, you kind of let time slip away from your own practice, my man. It's a vicious circle, you know? I know. I feel you, brother. You gotta help the people go faster. I get it, dude. I totally understand. That's what makes you a legend, my guy. That's what makes you a legend. You can give more to the community than you give to yourself, man. The stream is not suffering bitrate. Don't give me that jazz. All right. Well, we got 45 minutes left in the session here, ladies and gentlemen. 45. If you're going to get some laps in, now's the time to do it. We'll be back next Saturday, though. I'm not sure what time we're starting next Saturday. I'll have to confer with our lobby hosts on what's happening next weekend and what time exactly we're running at, because I can't remember. But the next weekend will be an open session for as long as necessary, if I'm not mistaken, because, well, we got to get the drivers qualified, because then the season starts up a couple weeks later. So get that practice in, folks. Get that practice in. Get those BRZs on track. Facts, Jake is one of the most selfless people that helps people to be better, and his voice is easy on the ears too. Hey, Jake. 7 next Saturday. Okay. Works for me. That means I get my GTRC Porsche Challenge Cup in beforehand. Fantastic. Fantastic. I can host next weekend too. Next weekend's not a big deal for me. I can host next weekend too if need be. This weekend's schedule is just a little bit tight. Oh well, I got 41.3 miles in already today. Oh right, because I was racing after midnight. Never mind. I was like, how do I have daily mileage? I haven't ran any laps. I did the weekly missions last night. The truck one on the tri-oval, pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed that. The Porsche GT3 RS race too. That was also pretty fun. That car handles actually quite well for a street car. Aw, shucks. Yeah, just keep me, yeah, sounds good, Ray. Just keep me posted. That works for me. Well, I don't know where our racers are all hiding today. Apparently they're all hiding today. Lucas came down and just threw it on the table, and now everybody's like, nope, I need more practice. That's what I have. I don't have the Toyota. I only have the Ford Raptor. And oh man, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I do like the snow physics. I like the snow physics seem much more right than the dirt physics to me.
I enjoyed the snow. It was fun.
Even with the crazy force feedbacks I have set on my wheel, it was still hella fun. It really does. And now you know what my next question is, right? So we think about snow tracks. Okay, that takes us back to GT4 days. What about the Tigra ice racing car? Does that mean we're gonna bring the Tigra ice racing car back to GT7? Because that would be fly. Man, I would be all over that Tigra ice racing car from GT4. That was so much fun. Hey, take it easy. Good luck in your races, man. Yeah, I'm really sad. Spa should have been a DR grower this week. Instead, it was a DR killer. That lovely little A I had is all gone. That was a ripper. It was. That thing was a ripper, Chris, for sure. I thought it was a great car. I was reminiscing on the old school GTs, man. I got a PS2 and I've got GT3 and 4, man. We should fire it up some night and do a little. I want to go a little retro. Wonder if the wheel would even work. That'd be cool. You missed GR4? Really? That seems a little suspicious, Jake. I don't know. TC alien. And they had that, what else was it? They had that Ferrari concept car. That little black concept car. Oh man, that thing was an absolute crazy car. That car did like most of my A spec, B spec part of the game. You know. Oh, Gran Turismo 4. Oh, okay. Now I got you.
Yeah, me too. That was a really good game.
I know he lows Group 4s.
Unless it's the Mac. If it's the Mac, then he doesn't mind, but he would much rather not drive a GT4, period. He loves them now. He made him love him on Sundays.
Hmm. I don't know if I buy that. Yeah, see, I didn't think. Yeah, I wasn't convinced. I wasn't convinced. I've heard this guy and what he's said about GT4 cars over the years. I have a hard time believing that.
Season 8 is gonna make you want to marry one. I don't mind the Group 4 cars. I don't mind the Group 4 cars.
We're gonna have a sim racing dispute in the YouTube channel about Group 4 cars here pretty soon. This is great. This is great.
Oh boy. You guys. You guys.
They are painful to drive. You know what, Jake? When you turn the BOP off, Group 4 cars are rippers, man. Rippers. Was messing around with a Lamborghini Huracan on a BOP off lobby. Oh man, that thing was flying, dude. Group 4s without BOP, fantastic. They, take away that restriction and let the power actually kick into those cars. Oh my god, they're so much fun. Try them with BOP off, man. You'll change your mind real quick. I'm gonna take a little pain with your pleasure, Jakey boy.
Give him an engine or something. Yeah, facts. True story.
True story. Engine swaps. Come on, engine swaps. Payne is losing a championship by 0.019 of a second. Yeah. Yep. Or spinning on the final corner when you're leading the race and the win gives you the championship. That's Payne as well. Yeah. Yeah. It hurts so good. by a nose splitter, eh? By a nose splitter. That is painful. That is very painful. Pleasure is winning a championship on the last corner even after you lost it. I'm on the pleasure side of that. Oh, that's funny. Poor Jay. Oh my. It's called helping out. It's helping one another out, right? You know, one's misfortune is another's good day, right? Need a hug. I need a. He does need a hug. uh. Only on GT45 Gaming do you see our driver's worst and best moments, I tell you what. And I've got a knack for catching the worst. It's like my spidey senses start tingling that something bad's gonna happen and my fingers just push the button, you know? I can't help it. It just happens, chat. It's that commentator savvy or curse. I do. I bet you do, my guy. Oh, we got ATB up in the house here. I don't know if anybody doesn't ask if you need one, Ray. I don't know. You need a hug, Ray? Alright, so we do have a driver up in the house here. Oh, we need to send Ray hugs too, chat. Come on. Hugs for Ray and hugs for Jay.
No, we got 2 drivers in here now.
Alright, we're just waiting for our driver to get up on track here. There we go. Alright, when ATB is ready to get out, he will jump out on track and we'll flip the screen over. I can't remember the last time I had one. Oh my. Me neither. I don't I'm a lone wolf, so to speak. I like to just fly solo. So I don't get hugs very often either, Ray. It's okay. I feel you there. But in my defense, I'm not much of a hugging person either. Alright, so Apex Sim Racing's Guardian now out on track, or ATB on screen as we see it here. And this is his out lap. So again, just a warm-up lap here. Just start to warm the tires up, get the rhythm of the racetrack, kind of get everything underneath you. Come on, Benson. Give him hell, bud. My old ass is getting a little needy. It's okay. That's what happens when we get older. Thanks. Thanks, Chris. Oh, it's going to be extra picky this time. There we go. Noise it is. Noise it is. Alright. We're going on like a 4-year-old capture card here, man. That thing has been a monster so far. It's been a good capture card. And I bought it used. Alright, so I don't know what to expect from ATB here. I have an idea what to expect from ATB, but we'll have to wait and see if we get what I think we should get out of ATB. So it was a 2-minute out lap here. He did have a little bit of a mistake going into the Casio triangle there. So this is officially our qualifying run here now. So the out lap is out of the way. So now this is official flying laps here for ATB. So best 2 of 4 laps combined total to make up your qualifying time here. So you need to have 2 good laps here in qualifying. So I was under the impression it was only 1. So I was thinking 1 safe lap. But you kind of need 2 safe laps. And then you can send it. Then you can send it. Alright, here we go. We are about halfway through here. We just got through Degner 2. We're heading in towards the hairpin here now. So about 2/3 the way around the track, so to speak. And then that takes us into the long charge to 130, the spoon curve, which takes us into the long back straight to 130R. So here you're going to get moved back over to the right hand side. As soon as you see that path there's a little cart path between the brake zone, the brake signs there. That's kind of your marker for your braking point here to start leaning into the corner. Good exit there by ATV. Nice clean little corner there. He held onto that apex just a little extra longer there. He might have cost himself a little bit of exit speed, but again, you always want to put in a couple of reasonable laps and then push for better time, with the 2 out of 4 factor being into qualifying here. So and I like the 2 times better than 1 because 2 times forces the driver to find some form of consistency as well during qualifying. So 201.928 on track here for his first time around, so a good solid lap there from ATB for his first flyer. So now tires should be all warmed up, the car should be starting to feel good, the grip should be underneath of him here. Let's see if he can find some improvement here on lap number 2. We're just heading through the S's here, the snake. Right now heading up in towards Dunlop Curve. We're going to have one more right-hander and then that hard uphill left-hander sweeping Dunlop Curve right here. Got to be careful on your exit there. You don't want to be too early on the throttle, but you don't want to be too late on the throttle either and lose all that momentum up the hill. Come around this little sweeper here, and then that takes us right into Degner 1 and 2. Degner 1 high speed, Degner 2 a lot lower speed. Down into second gear here, and just getting the car to rotate. And then back up into third. You seen from ATB to get back on the power there. Probably could have stayed in second there and revved it out. Maybe would have gained a little bit of time out of there, but hard to say. I haven't ran any actual laps for this particular combo myself, so I'm just speculating. But it is a 201.928 for his first time around here. He's a little bit up on that when he came around that timing sector there. So let's see where he's at here when he gets up towards 130R of Spoon Curve. So a little less apex there that time, but he didn't quite get on the throttle as quickly as I think he wanted to there. Almost had to force the float out of the corner there. So we'll have to see if he's up or down here. He is down by about 1.5 tenths, but it's still lots of time. He's still got 2 more laps to go around here yet. And he's not down by much. Can definitely make that up here in the Casio Triangle if he gets a nice good clean 3 corners here, and he does actually get a pretty good solid set of corners right there. So as we're coming around out of the Casio Triangle to the start finish line, it's a 201.634, so it's a slight improvement there. So he gained some time back up in that final sector, and slowly but surely ticking the time down here, I suspect. And this is just me knowing this driver quite well. I should see a 2 minute, and if he really hooks one up, it'd be a sub 2 minutes. So a high 159 or a really low 2 minute is what I would anticipate seeing out of the best lap from this driver. And the only reason why I say that is because he's about the same pace as I am, and that's about where I would be expecting to be after qualifying for this particular get up. So would definitely be shooting for a low 2 minute or a very high 159 for myself. That would be my goal, and I don't think his is probably going to be too much off of that. So he's right there. I mean, he's right there at it. Oh, Degner 2, a little bit of a mistake, but he gathered it up pretty good. But that is going to make that mistake there coming out of Degner 2, and just recover the car, get it back on track, and set up that final lap. Get those tires scrubbed off, get them cooled back down, get them back to optimal temperature. And we got Piggums up in the house here now too as well. So we got Tom and Piggums both ready to go here as well. So a couple of real fast drivers waiting in the wings here as well. Alright, so this is now just a setup lap for the final lap here. A little bit of a mistake coming through the Degners there. You got a little bit wide coming through Degner 1. Picked up a little bit of grass on the tires that didn't quite allow him to get the rotation into the second part of the Degners. And a little off track there, so he's got that going now. So really the key is to set up the Casio Triangle here for a very good exit coming on to the final lap here. He's got 2 really good consistent times there to work off of, so I mean already it's been a pretty good qualifying run here for him. But I just know this racer, and he's like me. He's got a time in his mind, and I don't quite think he's there yet. Alright, so a 209 there. That one's a scrap lap. He's got two 201s there to lean on. So now this is, let's see if he can find some time lap here. Good utilization through turns 1 and 2. Could have used a little more of that curbing on the inside, but he got a good exit there leading into the snake. So far it looks pretty good here. He's catching a little bit of curb, just missing the apex there in the second part. He's going to take it out wide, come in nice and tight. That's going to leave him a straight line heading into the short, into the late apex of that corner, which then sets you up for a late apex into Dunlop curve, which is very, very important to get that very long sweep up the hill. And looks like we're on a good lap here so far. Take number 1 and 2 here. This is where we've seen most of the drivers struggle today, is in these sets of corners here, and this is where Suzuka bites the hardest, it seems like, and if it's not here, it's definitely spoon curves. So 3/4 of a second up here. He's in that 2-minute range now, and as he comes through the hairpin here, nice, good, tidy corner right there. So yeah, he's on a good charge here, heading up towards spoon now. And he's going to need a good clean spoon curve here to really maximize that 3/4 second gain, heading in towards 130R out of spoon. So heading into spoon here, nice and smooth. You're not seeing any jerky movement here. He looks like he's locked in this lap, so got a nice good apex there. He's got a good clean exit there. This definitely looks like his best lap. So he just needs to get through 130R in the Casio Triangle safe and sound here, and it should definitely be a good improvement here for Apex Sim Racing's Guardian, or ATV on screen here. And we're seeing the fast drivers flirt with that track edge a little bit coming into 130R, just trying to maximize the amount of track distance they have to get around that tarmac surface. And it's a good lap here by ATV. It's going to be a 2-minute. It is a 2-minute.549 there from ATV, so that was his fastest lap on the track there. And we'll couple that with a 201.634 for his total combined time here in qualifying today. So that was a pretty good run right there from ATV. And we'll let these guys do what they do behind the scenes, and we'll get our next driver out on track here, which I do believe is going to be Streeter Tom, since he was the next one in the lobby. Alright, so we do have a couple of drivers that are going to put a little bit of pressure on that potential fastest lap on the track here in qualifying, that 58.3. Apex Sim Racing Streeter Tom and TT Pigums both are capable drivers and could potentially put some pressure on that time. So be interesting to see what these last two, what these two guys have here for us. Alright, so it is going to be Streeter Tom to come out next. We will just wait for him to get out on track and get moving, and we'll flip the screen back over for everybody here again. In the meantime, we'll go check out what is happening all around the network. Checking on the streams mainly. Making sure everything's moving right, grooving right. That was a good run. That was definitely a good run from Guardian. Oh, Tom is out on track here. Alright. So we got Apex Sim Racing Streeter Tom out on track here now, former ATK Motorsports member as well. Been around the community for a long time. We're very familiar with this driver. He is a very quick driver, so we'll see what he's got here for us today. Should see sub 2-minute laps from this driver. From the next two drivers, we should see below 2-minute laps here coming out of the BRZs, the Hero and Suzuka. From these two, these would be both these drivers considered pro tier drivers. It really just comes down to your understanding about this car. Hey, Tommy Lee's on track. Yes, ma'am. points. So just hear that car roaring up in towards 130R here on the outlap. It sounds so great, doesn't it? These BRZs really do sound good. I'm not a man. My bad. I'm not classy enough for that. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Alright, so flying lap. The outlap was a 57.7, so Lucas had a 56.2. My battery is dying on my controller, apparently. Alright, so here goes Streeter Tom. We're just coming through the Degners here right now. There's been a tricky sector here for most of the racers, and that's where I struggle the most on this racetrack, is actually through the Degners as well. For some reason, that's the one that those two corners really throw me out on this racetrack. Well, define classy though. I mean, again, I mean, what is a classy person? I mean, what? Just because somebody can dress up real nice and look real good doesn't necessarily make them a classy person. Because somebody has money doesn't really necessarily make them a classy person. And then class comes in attitude myself, and when it comes to attitude, you are most certainly classy. The rest I can't say because I have never met you in real life. I don't know you in real life, but your attitude is 100% class act, right? Alright, so Streeter Tom coming here for his first lap. So again, this is one where the tires aren't fully right up to temp yet. And so this is kind of that feeler lap. Now we should see the next 3 laps kind of start to look for more time here. And it's a 59.955, pardon me, from Streeter Tom. So much like Lucas, starting right into the sub 2 minute laps right off the bat. So first one being a 59.9. Let's see if he continues to improve. Swear like a sailor and look like a hot mess when you met him. So you're a normal human being, Ray. The bigger question is, did it take you longer to do your hair, or did it take Jake longer to do his hair? What do you think, chat? That should be the poll. Does it take longer for Jake or Ray to do their hair? Alright, see what Streeter Tom's coming through the hairpin here for the second time. I haven't been paying attention to his live sectors. I've been too busy, well, being a smartass, I guess. Alright, so here comes Streeter Tom here, heading towards Spoon Curve. Ooh, he just flirting with the track edge a little bit there. Definitely driving it on the edge here right now, trying to maximize the corner here. He has a great entry into Spoon, and he gets a really big exit there as well. Rip. Me 100%, says Jakey. Oh, that's funny. Alright, well, we don't need a poll. Apparently it takes the Jake longer to do his hair than Ray, so there we go. Gotta keep those beautiful blonde locks nice and straight, hey Jake, you know? Come on now. 59.931 there from Streeter Tom. So lap number 2, a small improvement by 0.25 hundredths of a second essentially, and 2 safe laps in my opinion are in. So let's see if he starts to push it a little bit here now. enters the turn as he enters the snake for the third time here. So two times in the books, both 159.9s, very consistent. When you talk about consistency, that's the epiphany of consistency right there. Apex Fabio. No, just because you got a stick holding your hair together, that makes you resourceful, Ray. It doesn't make you a bad girl, it makes you resourceful. Naturally falls like that, just the dyeing and the brushing. That's why I keep my hair very short, I don't have to deal with that. Wake up, throw a comb through it, pop a hat on, I'm done, I'm good to go. She's like ETA 30 seconds, man. Alright, so let's see what Streeter Tom's got here as he comes around for the third time. We're heading back out of Spoon Curve, heading back towards 130R, the big back straight here. Let's see where he's at that live timing sector. Again, consistency is most certainly there from this driver. Showing good race pace. Let's see what he's got. And he's actually down about 2.5 tenths coming into 30 at 130R here. So again, we've seen these guys make up a lot of time through 130R and the Casio Triangle though. So 2 tenths really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things here. So not going to hold our breath on the fact that he can't improve on that yet until we see him come across the line. And I mean, it's a good time there. It's a 59.6. So made up all that time in the Casio Triangle. And that's a good 0.3 of a second improvement right there from Apex Streeter Tom. So, and absolutely sending turn 1 and 2 there. He used all of that corner that was available. Any more of that corner, and it would have been a dicey exit coming out of turn 1 right there. You weren't in an Herbal Essence advertisement. Well, come on, Herbal Essence, if you're watching, you got to get the Queen Ray out there. Come on, you're missing your superstar. That's funny. Alright, so Streeter Tom here in the lead of this, not in the lead, with a 159.6, second fastest driver on the track here currently in qualifying today. And oh boy, Degner 1 tossed him out a little bit there. That's going to cost him some time. And that's going to cost him some overall time here as we come into the hairpin as well. That was a big wiggle right there. So only down a fraction there, but by the time we get back up towards Spoon Curve, we're probably going to see that time be down a little bit more than we suspect, just because that wiggle cost time. Wiggle, not good. Yeah, just woke up. He does have nice hair, he really does. He really does. Alright, coming into the Casio Triangle for the final time here. And let's see where he's at with time here. 53, 54, 55. Whoa! Big wiggle coming out of the Casio Triangle. Wow, nice save, Tom. And a little bit of a show for the viewers there, though, of what not to do around the final corner. But man, he gathered that car up. That was a great job there by Apex Sim Racing Streeter Tom, and a spicy moment right at the end of qualifying right there, boy. Let me tell you what, but a 159.6 and a 159.931 there for Streeter Tom is going to make for a solid set of qualifying times right there. So we'll let Jake do what Jake does in behind the scenes there, and we'll get our next driver on the racetrack. Alright, so our second driver in those 59s here today is Apex Streeter Tom. And that was a good run there from him. Nice consistent run there, just a little bit of a mistake there in that final lap, and that was unfortunate there, but he may have been down a little bit of time there anyway. Genetic lineage to Rapunzel. You guys. Alright, so this will be the last driver we'll cover here, and then I do have to run. So this will be the last driver I'm going to cover here today, and then I got to get going. But that was a nice time from Tom. I think he had more in him though.
But good, consistent, solid runs right there.
Alright, so Piggums is going to be coming out next here to run his qualifying session here, and last driver of the day, I believe. I could be wrong. The lobby may stay up past the broadcast, but I think it was just a short one for this week, and then we'll do the big one next weekend, as not many of the drivers came in today, so next weekend's going to be poppin'. Alright, TT Piggum's out on track here now, and it's going to be his turn here to see what he's got around the Suzuka circuit here today for qualifying. For Div 2, hate that track with a passion. Well, you're the second fastest so far in qualifying, Streeter Tom, so. You're looking alright right now, my dude. You're looking alright right now. That's just Streeter Tom's negative vibe he always has. He thinks he's slower than he really is, but he knows he's not really that slow. But he tells himself that, and I don't know why. It's just his process. You know, we can start telling you the same thing we tell Jay, Tom, and just you know, I don't know if that would motivate you like it does him though. I'd be lucky to put in a 2-minute lap around here, Tom, so I wouldn't be complaining too much. You did a good job, man. Nice consistent laps. Alright, we should see some sub 2-minute laps coming from Piggums here as well. Very efficient driver this gentleman is as he comes around. It's a 158.9 on the out lap, so let's see what he's got here for hot lap number 10. It's just his process. It's just a part of it. It's funny listening to him say how much he sucks, and then he goes in and just destroys everybody. Right up until he spins. Same thing with me. Right up until I spin, and then it's all over. I do real good till I spin, and then it's game over. Always seem to catch a stupid track edge under braking or something silly like that. You know, yeah, just lean over a smidge too much. Alright, so we're about 2/3 of the way through our first hot lap here for Piggums. We're just heading towards the Spoon Curve here right now, and again, that exit ever so important coming out of Spoon Curve here. Really got to utilize every single millimeter available on the racetrack, and you can see these top tier drivers or faster drivers, the A+ A drivers are really utilizing a lot more of the racetrack than say some of our lower tier A, B, C drivers that are in here right now. They're just being a little more cautious, don't want to flirt with the track edges I mean, it does make a difference at the end of the day, but I totally understand why. I know me as a qualifier, when I'm qualifying, the last thing I want to do is catch a track edge and spin and ruin 2 laps, right? So sometimes I'll err on the side of caution just to not wreck a lap. So a 2-minute point 265 here coming from Piggums. That was his first lap here, so just a little off that sub 2-minute lap, but with 3 laps to go here on the track, still plenty of time for him to home that time in. Up about 2.5 tenths here right now on that first lap as he comes up into the Dunlop curve there, so a small improvement through the first sector there. That takes us into Degner 1 and 2 here now, and that takes us up towards the hairpin, so we'll see where he's at when he hits this next live timing sector here. It's just under the bridge right here. And he's up about 0.6 of a second here now, so now he's in those sub 50, he's in that sub 2-minute range here now, going around the hairpin. Look pretty clean and tidy there. A very slow corner, that hairpin that we just seen Piggums come out of. It's probably the hardest braking zone on the racetrack. I think even much more so than the Casio Triangle as well, but it's hard to say. They're very, very comparable on how slow the corners are. Ooh, Piggums got a little bit wide there. He does a great job of keeping it underneath of him, and he realizes there that that's definitely going to cost him a little bit of grip here, so he's going to try and scrub those tires off heading into 130R. He's just going to give up the time on this lap here, and he's still got 2 to go, so unfortunate there is he just a little bit too early on the throttle there on the exit coming out of Spoon Curve, and that is a mistake that we see typically from a lot of racers coming out of Spoon Curve, just a little early on the throttle, and it shoots you out a little bit wide there. Piggums, however, does a great job of keeping it out of the wall, so a 201.008 that time around, and he's definitely going to be looking for an improvement on this next couple laps here. So as he's coming into turns 1 and 2 here, just nice and clean and efficient here through the snake as well, but again, it's the latter part of this racetrack that really seems to snake out the drivers. So 58.387 is that fastest lap on the racetrack here in qualifying, and it may stick today. It's hard to say here. Piggums is up about half a tenth there coming through the snake on his first lap, so he is still up a little bit coming through there. So pretty good consistency so far around the racetrack. Again, just a mistake coming out of the Spoon Curve there, and that cost him his second lap of qualifying there, but he did pick up a penalty, thankfully, so it doesn't at least ruin a couple of laps, so to speak. The penalties are very tough in qualifying. You definitely want to avoid penalties in qualifying. They can very quickly change your outcome of qualifying, that's for sure. There's a great looking scheme on that car there as well. Some great looking paint jobs here so far today already on the racetrack. Drivers love to paint their cars, that's for sure. We love seeing these great looking designs coming out from the drivers. We got 3/4 of a second up here this time around as we head into 130R. Nice tidy little exit coming out of Piggums right there. And it's a 59.373 right there from Piggums on his little third lap around. So definitely finding that improvement there that he was looking for on lap number 2. Just made that mistake coming out of Spoon Curve. So now he's going to be looking to repeat that lap or better here this last time around. So this is his last qualifying lap here. So he did make the improvement there, 159.373 for lap number 3. So he's going to be looking for another sub 2-minute lap here. As we're heading up through the snake into the Dunlop curve here right now, is he up? I didn't see the timer, I wasn't paying attention, so we'll have to wait for the next one after the Degners here to see where he's at. Coming through Degner 1 right now. He's definitely carrying quite a bit of speed here this time. And, ooh, a little bit of a wiggle there. That might cost him a little bit there. He's going to try and get the dirt out the tires. And, oh, the wiggling, over-wiggling there. Cost him, unfortunately, to unstabilize the race car there. And that is going to be a burnt lap. So it's going to be a 59.373 and a 2-minute.265, which will just slot him ahead of Streeter Tom in qualifying here by 2 or 3 tenths of a second. We're very unfortunate. There are a couple of mistakes made by Piggums, and a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes there made by Piggums here in qualifying as he was just pushing that car to the limits there. And just a little tiny mistake at Suzuka can cost you here. We said that, did we not? We said at the beginning of qualifying that those little mistakes at this racetrack could cost you a tenth of a second over 4 or 5 corners, which can relate to 3/4 of a second or a half second real quick around the racetrack. He's going to be down by 4 or 5 seconds here. If not more, when he comes across that timer 12. So, squashed lap here. I gotta go, Jake. I'm gonna be going. I gotta shut the stream down. I have to go. Alright, so 2:18.041 there. Not not the ideal one there for Piggy, but it is what it is. Oh, it's gonna be Payme. I gotcha. Unfortunately, I can't stick around here and continue doing this. I do have to go. I have my own race I gotta prepare for. Yes. Thank you, Jakey. I love you, brother. I want to see Payme go around, but I really can't afford to give the time for it today, unfortunately. Alright, chap. Alright, so there we go. That is weekend number 1 here out of 2 weekends of qualifying here. Round 2 will be tomorrow, next Saturday, November 11th. Oh yeah, that's Remembrance Day, isn't it? Didn't think about that when we scheduled that, did we? Anyways, November 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken, is what I heard there. So we'll have all that sorted out, but stay tuned on the pages and the socials. We'll have a little more information regarding our BRZ one make series. Pardon me, coming down from Racing Asylum North America here, and of course a great UK-based organization in cooperation with Apex Sim Racing Team to, well, bring great racing action here down to North America, because we know we need some great series down in North America. This is going to be the next big series here from Racing Asylum, and there's a great cool group of races over there in Racing Asylum. So we love y'all, we appreciate y'all, and we'll catch you next Saturday for the last half of our qualifying sessions here from Racing Asylum. Registration is still open. The Discord is pinned in both our YouTube channels here today. If you want to know more or you want to get involved, join the Racing Asylum Discord server, start that process, and one of the admins will take it from there and help you, direct you in the direction you need to go in that very large server. But lots of great stuff happening over there at Racing Asylum, and huge love for bringing this down to North America for us. So I'm your host today, GT45 Gaming. Thank you for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the early qualifying sessions. We'll be back next weekend for the remaining runs from our qualifiers here. Payme's out on track right now. He is probably going to set the new lap record time, and we'll post that next weekend once we get there. Stay winning. Remember, you all matter, and we'll catch you on the next one.